take you through mastery pathways, which is so crazy because you're literally on one right now. So meta. So I'm basically taking you behind the scenes of how I created this mastery pathway. In order for you to trigger this mastery pathway, you need to start with a graded assignment. That could be a quiz or an assignment or a discussion. I prefer quizzes, so that's what I did. I made you take the very hard quiz of if you're a beginner or advanced. You'll notice at the top here there is a Mastery Pathways little tab. We're going to click on that. And this will actually populate, I think it's 140 and then 0, something along those lines. You can change these numbers to be whatever you want. If you want them to have 3 separate pathways, leave it like this and it'll say if they get a 100 they'll go on this pathway. But maybe you're like, you know what, if they got anything above an 80, I think they've mastered the content. So anything between 100 and 80 will have them on that first pathway. And then from here, let's say we were like anywhere from 50 to 80. Okay, so if they got a score between 50 and 80, they will do this middle one. And if they got between 50 and 0, they will go to the last one. But what if I only want 2 pathways? Well, the ground is 0. So if you want them to just have 2, then put this one at 0, and I left this one at 100. Now we're going to add things to our pathway. Before we can do that, we need to make sure that we have assignments that are already going to be built into our pathway, which I do. So I'm going to go back to the module that I was showing you. These are all of the discussions that are going to be happening. And as you can see, I differentiated between beginner and advanced. So we're going to go into the mastery pathway one just as an example. And we're going to edit it. This is super, super important. You cannot skip this step. Scroll down. It's going to automatically assign this to everyone, but we don't want that. We want to assign it to a mastery paths. And then we're going to click save. I know this looks ominous. It's just letting you know, hey, not everyone will be assigned this. Right, because only certain people on the pathway will get this, unless you put it on both. And we're going to get to that in a second. So do not be scared. Just go ahead and click continue. I've already done it for the rest of our discussions that I have. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back to that quiz that triggered the whole process. Now that I've made sure everything is assigned to mastery paths, I'm going to start adding to it. So I'm just going to click discussion. Oh, but I still have so many of those. But I labeled all of them as beginner. So when I do that, you'll see the names populate here. These are the 3 that I want to use. Now, when you click on them, you can click on them in the correct order you want them to be in. So if you want pages to be first and then quizzes and then assignments, it will put them in the order that you click them in. So the order I want it to be, or that I have it, is pages, assignments, quizzes. Then I just click add items, and they'll all populate right here. Now, you see this and sign? That just means whenever the student is done with the first assignment, once they click next, they will immediately go to this next one. But what if they understand pages? So maybe I want them to do pages or they can do the assignment. So they can pick, they can either do just the pages or they can do assignments and quizzes. In this case, I want y'all to do all 3, so I'm going to leave it as and. And let's go ahead and add our advanced people in here. Overview, buttons, mastery. Okay, but Ashley, what if I put them out of order? That's really not a big deal. I'm also going to put in grade sync. Okay, but as you know, we did grade sync first. I don't want it here. Let's put it at the front. You can just click and drag it. You don't have to uncheck everything or anything like that. And you can put multiple things in a category. So let's say I want the grade sync here as well, which I do. I'm going to put it here also. But for the beginners, I want it at the end because it's so important. I need them to get it done. But I wanted them to understand how to do everything first. With my advanced crew, I just want y'all to get the grade syncing right off the bat, and then we can go on to the other stuff. So this is going to be the pathway that I'm going to have my students go on. I'm going to click save because if you don't click save, it will not save it. So just rule of thumb, always press save. And then it will populate where you can find these. So you'll notice anywhere between 100 and 0, beginners are gonna see this. And then for my advanced crew, you have to get a 100. If you don't, then you're not gonna go on this pathway. But the grade sync says multiple because I put it in both pathways. This is all fine and dandy, but let's look at it from the student view. I always recommend you do this before you publish because then you're not sure if it'll work. Okay, so let's go ahead and click my mastery pathway. I'm going to begin my quiz. I know this is the hardest quiz you ever took. Let's just say I am advanced in this case. I submit. So my advanced people, I made this the quote unquote correct answer so that it will trigger you down a certain path. Okay, great. So now I'm going to click return. After that is graded, Canvas will automatically put me on the path. What we need to do now is go back to modules, and then you'll see all the things I want the students to accomplish. So let's go ahead and click the first one. Here's grade sync, but here's the beautiful part. They can reply here. Click reply, and then they can go to the next one. Go here, I watch the video. That's amazing. I reply, I go to the next one. So essentially what this does is it's going to open only certain assignments that you want these kids to do. And notice how it matches the exact order of our advanced pathway. Now I do recommend you do both pathways as a student just to see. And this took me a little bit to figure out, embarrassingly. But since I've already done this as a student, they have a little reset student button. When you click that, it'll reset like you never took the quiz. And now this pathway is going to disappear because it's resetting. So I'm going to go back to my modules. And there you go. So let's just model it real quick. I'm going to do the beginner pathway this time. Submit. Yes. Okay. Now I'm going to click. You can either click return or you can click modules. Either way is fine. Sometimes it takes a minute for Canvas to actually recognize that the grade and get you on the pathway that you need to be on. If this happens to your kids, I would tell them to click on modules again or to refresh their screen or click something else. And it'll populate here and the kids can go through my pathway that I have for them. And that pretty much concludes Mastery Pathways. I hope this was helpful to you. I feel like this could be a very good remediation piece for our students as they move forward. They can take a quiz, fail it, and then automatically go on a remediation or enrichment pathway, all without you having to really do much. The only thing I would say is you have to train your kids to click that return button or module button, and if it doesn't pop up right away, don't freak out. Just wait a little bit because Canvas is thinking and it will pop up eventually. That's it. Thank you for dealing with me for this training. I appreciate y'all, and I know we're going to do great things this year.